Welcome! Today we are going to be making twice baked potatoes. The first thing I do is wash my potatoes very well, and then I rub olive oil evenly over each potato. I want to be sure to get all of the skins rubbed nicely with olive oil. This is going to cause them to bake up crispy, and they're going to be delicious to eat along with the inside of the potato. Now, as I finish this, I will prepare the next step. I get them all in the pan evenly, and then I take Himalayan sea salt and coat each side of the potato. After I sprinkle the salt on, I will rub it on the skin to be sure that it's evenly coated. And when this bakes up with the oil and the salt, it makes the most delicious skin to eat. Has a little toughness and crispiness to it, and a little salty. Delicious. Now they've been baked, and I will cut them in half. There they look, baked, salted, delicious. I'll cut each in half before I get started. And then, after I get them all cut in half, I will start picking them up one by one and taking the inside out of the potatoes and into a large bowl in which to mash them. I just take a tablespoon size spoon, and just take all the inside out. Now, you don't want to get too close to the skin because it's easy to tear up that skin or to put a rip in it. And it does happen, and I will show you what happens when you tear the skin of a potato, because you can repair it. And also, I always try to bake 2 or 3 more potatoes that I'm actually going to use the skins of, because that will give me plenty to use on for the stuffing. I like to overstuff my twice baked potatoes so everybody gets plenty. As you can see, this one here is a larger potato, and it didn't get done quite as well as the other smaller ones, but that was okay. I went ahead and got all out that I could, because once you get them mashed and restuffed, you're going to bake them again to heat, and anything that wasn't soft is going to be soft. Now you can see the difference in this one. Cooked perfectly because it's a smaller potato. I baked these at 375 for 1 hour. Now, I've melted some butter or softened some butter, sour cream, and I have whole milk and salt and pepper. This is what I'll put in the inside. You can put whatever you'd like. If you want add some cream cheese inside, you can. Bacon bits, whatever. If ham, you can make a whole meal out of it if you wish. But this is just going to be a side dish in this evening. Now, I do not whip my potatoes, and I do not put them in a mixer. Some people can, and that is perfectly fine. I still do it the old-fashioned way with a potato masher, using my strength in my arms. Hey, another way to get exercise, I guess. So I go ahead and get all my ingredients in, and then I'll start trying to get the lumps out with this potato masher. Now, when I start, it looks really dry and it feels really dry. I'm going to add milk. And I continue adding milk as I mash the potatoes until it's the right consistency. Here I am smashing it up against the side of the bowl and turning the bowl a little bit at a time. This way I'm sure to get all the lumps out of it. Although I do like to keep some lumps in there because it makes it seem, as it is, homemade. I don't like them too smooth. That's why I don't like them whipped. But some people like them really whipped. That's just not my personal opinion. And here is the potato at the end. And this is the consistency that I like. It's a little too sticky there, so I'm going to add a little bit more milk. So I ended up adding almost a whole pint of milk. There was just a little bit left in that pint. And then now I'm going to just give it a vigorous stirring for the last time. so it's the consistency I would like. And then I am ready to begin stuffing the potatoes. The whole process between cleaning the potatoes out and mashing the potatoes and stuffing them takes about 20 minutes, depending on how many you're doing. I did a lot at this one. Okay, here are my empty skins. You can see this one sort of fell apart on me. That's just fine. That one's perfect. This one's really perfect. Let me show you how to feel the one that fell apart, because you can literally glue it back together with the mashed potatoes. So I'm stuffing this one first, and then after you get the stuffing in there, you can literally put it back together. And when I add the cheese on top at the end, then you're really going to be able, then it'll really just like the melted cheese will make it hold together. So you don't have to worry about it falling apart after the fact, because it won't. Now, one by one, I will laboriously fill every one of these, and I have a lot of potato stuffing. Okay, I've emptied all my potatoes. I've went around and evenly distributed the potatoes, and now I will cover each one up generously with shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I don't care if it runs over to the next one, because when it all bakes up all ooey and gooey together, it only makes it look better and taste better. Let me tell you, folks, and these heated up the next day are just as good as they are fresh. Now, the piece de la resistance is the prime rib. This is my husband's specialty. He's already rinsed it under the sink and patted it dry with a paper towel. Then after he does that, he's going to take these thinly sliced fresh cloves, and here is the dry mix he's mixed together. You can see the recipe below. Now, he will take and put slits about a ½ inch into the meat, and you can see how he turns the knife to make the slit a little wider. And he does this all over the top of the prime rib, about an inch, inch and a half apart across the top. And then after he finishes doing the entire top this way, you will take the thinly sliced fresh garlic cloves, and you're going to stick a piece into each one of these little holes. You want to talk about something smelling good when it bakes. If you weren't hungry before, you would be afterwards. So just take and put the garlic in each one of these little slits over the entire top of the prime rib. And this one here is about about 13 pound prime rib. There it is, finished. Now the next step is to take some olive oil, just a little bit, enough to coat both sides of it. And what this is going to do is going to help your dry spices that he's already mixed stick to both sides. So he'll oil the top and the bottom and even the sides. So when he's ready for the rub, they will stick well. Here you're going to be able to see the beautiful marbling of this meat, and that's what makes it so tender when it's cooked. This is a crowd pleaser. We entertained 13 people this night, and they loved it. Okay, after that, after he has it coated good with the olive oil, and you see he's doing the sides as well, he starts coating it with the dry rub mixture. Below, you will see the whole recipe below. And he wants to be sure that once he gets the mixture on, he also rubs it in. That way it sticks well, hence the olive oil. And this is what the whole entire prime rib is going to look like on that side once it's coated. And you want it very well coated. And then he flips it over, fat side up in the pan. And here he will coat the top of this, just like he did the bottom, to be sure it has a good coating of this dry rub mixture. This is really what makes the flavor of the meat. The slow cooking does it, but so does this dry rub. You can see the color there. You can see there's got paprika in it. You can see that color of the paprika coming out. It actually also has garlic salt, believe it or not, even after the fresh garlic cloves we put in the meat. But the meat does not taste garlicky at all. That's what surprises me. Okay, it's about ready to go into the oven. He's got to get the ends well. As soon as he gets everything coated, even out, look, even down on the sides, he wants to be sure. Now he's going to get the ends well, and then into the oven it goes at 500 degrees. The temperature is going to differ depending on the size of your prime rib. And when it comes out and you slice it, here's what you have. And it is tender. You can cut it with a fork. Bon appetit, friends.